Syllabus 2.2 Graffiti.
I don't have to do anything.
Graffitis here,
Oh, is
these
everyone allowed
original
to do it?
inscriptions, they had
Gotta cut back on that
two
shit.
different kind of legal inscriptions than illegal ones. The difference is that when they had those legal inscriptions written on the walls, and it's actually painted on the walls, they needed to pay taxes. If they didn't pay taxes, it's illegal. I mean, it should be like that nowadays. So the illegal graffitis were bad words, I'm not going to tell you about that, and love messages. By the amphitheater, they had found lots of inscriptions where they were saying, I love Spartacus, I want to get married to him, things like that. And that's how we figured out how popular they were. Much more than the soccer players in Italy and football players in the States. They didn't get so much money. That would be the only difference. In fact, some of the gladiators, they were running different kind of businesses.
Thanks, mate.
Which is quite easy to understand, which kind of business they were running. And so what I also wanted you to see is that everything was plastered. You see, there's plaster on top of the wall. And when they painted on humid or fresh plaster, that's what a fresco is. But they also needed inscriptions to be painted, especially if, like this, it was electro-propaganda, because it was the only way to borrow them. If they had engraved the inscriptions on the walls, it would have been impossible to have brand new ones. So what they used to do was to put plaster, then they painted on top. If they had to write brand new inscriptions, they took off the plaster, they had brand new one and brand new inscriptions. These are still readable. It's amazing, you can still read them. Vote for Berlusconi, Obama, Sarkozy. Concerning Berlusconi, if you're nice, pretty teenager, it's much better. Too bad, sorry. So things like that were considered electro-propaganda. If you're voting Mr. a certain Dumviro, you're going to pay less taxes. Streets will be much cleaner. We're going to pick up the garbage and everybody's going to get a job. Things like that. And that was the only way to get voted. If they wanted some of the politicians to be re-elected, then they were engraving their names on the walls by having marble engraving, and that was to let everybody know that a certain politician was paying for constructions, like the ones who were paying for building the Theatrum Tectum, the roofed theater. Different kind of legal inscriptions were advertisements. You're going to see that in 5 minutes. I'm going to point out to you the only fast food that was owned by a lady whose name was Azelina. She had become so popular, so famous, because she was the only one who was running her own business.
Was she Britannicus?
See,
Yeah, she probably was. She was correct.
yes, yeah. Right on top of her fast food, which they called Thermopolium, she was having a different kind of business. I'm introducing you to the Lupanare.
Oh.